At the heart of America's identity lies a seemingly simple concept. If you're reborn here, you're a citizen. But this principle, known as birthright citizenship, is one of the most fiercely debated issues in the U.S. today. Is it a constitutional loophole or a foundational promise? Prepare to uncover the surprising truth behind why the U.S. has birthright citizenship. A legacy forged in freedom and conflict. Why the U.S. has birthright citizenship. A legacy forged in freedom and conflict. Why the U.S. has birthright citizenship. A legacy forged in freedom and conflict. The principle of birthright citizenship, or Jus Soli, is a cornerstone of American identity, stating that virtually any person born within the territory of the United States is automatically a U.S. citizen, regardless of their parents' nationality or immigration status. In recent years, this concept has become a flashpoint in heated political debates surrounding immigration. Critics often call it a loophole or argue for its abolishment. However, to truly understand why the U.S. has birthright citizenship, one must delve into a history far deeper than modern political discourse. History inextricably linked to the nation's most profound struggle over freedom and equality, the Civil War and the abolition of slavery. Birthright citizenship is not an accidental quirk of American law. It is a fundamental constitutional principle, deliberately adopted to rectify one of the gravest injustices in the nation's past. Its origins reveal a powerful commitment to a broad and inclusive definition of citizenship, forged in the crucible of post-Civil War Reconstruction. Part 1. English Common Law Roots, the Right of the Soil. The concept of Jus Soli has deep roots in English common law, which held that any person born within the king's dominion was automatically a subject of the crown, regardless of their parents' status. This principle emerged in medieval England as a simple way to determine allegiance in an era before extensive record-keeping or notions of complex nationality. When British colonists settled in North America, they brought Jus Soli with them. It became a foundational part of early American legal tradition, establishing that anyone born on colonial soil was a subject of the British Crown, and later, a citizen of the newly formed United States. This early application, however, contained a grievous exception. It generally did not apply to enslaved African Americans, who, despite being born on U.S. soil, were considered property, not persons, and thus denied the fundamental rights of citizenship. Part 2. The Catalyst, Slavery, and the 14th Amendment. The glaring inconsistency of slavery and the citizenship status of African Americans ultimately led to the defining moment in the history of U.S. birthright citizenship. 1. Dred Scott v. Sandford. This infamous Supreme Court decision, delivered on March 6, 1857, ruled that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, were not and could never be citizens of the United States. Chief Justice Roger B. Taney wrote that black people had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. This ruling intensified national divisions over slavery and pushed the nation closer to civil war. 2. The Civil War and Reconstruction. The Civil War ended slavery, but it left millions of formerly enslaved people in a legal limbo. Their freedom was established, but their citizenship status, and thus their rights, remained undefined and vulnerable, especially in southern states that swiftly enacted black codes to restrict their freedoms. 3. The 14th Amendment. In response to the Dred Scott decision and the restrictive black codes, Congress passed the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which was ratified on July 9, 1868. The very first sentence of Section 1 directly addressed citizenship. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Purpose. This clause was explicitly designed to overturn the Dred Scott ruling and constitutionally guarantee citizenship for formerly enslaved African Americans, granting them full legal rights regardless of race. It established the principle that being born on U.S. soil, under U.S. law, automatically conferred citizenship. Part 3. Key Interpretations and Legal Precedent. While the intent of the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause was clear regarding formerly enslaved people, its broad wording required judicial interpretation regarding others born on U.S. soil. 1. United States v. Wong Kim Ark. This landmark Supreme Court case, decided on March 28, 1898, solidified the expansive interpretation of birthright citizenship. Wong Kim Ark was born in San Francisco in 1873 to Chinese parents who were legal permanent residents but were barred by law from becoming U.S. citizens. After a trip to China, Wong Kim Ark was denied re-entry on the grounds that he was not a citizen. The Supreme Court ruled 6-2 in his favor, affirming that the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause applies to virtually all individuals born in the U.S., regardless of their parents' citizenship or eligibility for naturalization. The only exceptions are for children born to foreign diplomats or to enemy forces engaged in hostile occupation. 2. The subject to the jurisdiction thereof clause. The court in Wong Kim Ark clarified that this clause broadly means being subject to U.S. law. It does not create an exception for children born to parents who are undocumented or not eligible for citizenship. This interpretation has been consistently upheld by subsequent legal analysis. Part 4. The ongoing debate and modern challenges today. Birthright citizenship remains a contentious political issue, particularly in debates surrounding undocumented immigration. Arguments against. Critics primarily argue that birthright citizenship incentivizes undocumented immigration, leading to what some controversially term anchor babies, children born in the U.S. to undocumented parents who then gain citizenship. They contend that this was not the original intent of the 14th Amendment regarding non-citizens. Arguments for. Proponents counter that constitutional text. The plain language of the 14th Amendment is clear and unambiguous. Historical intent. The amendment's core purpose was to establish a broad, inclusive definition of citizenship that could not be denied based on race or origin, overturning the restrictive logic of Dred Scott. Practicality. Abandoning Jus Soli would create a complex bureaucracy, potentially leading to widespread statelessness and creating a permanent underclass which could destabilize society. Assimilation. Birthright citizenship promotes assimilation by integrating children born in the U.S. into American society and its values. The debate underscores the enduring tension between national sovereignty, constitutional principles, and evolving immigration policy. Conclusion. A fundamental principle forged in conflict birthright citizenship in the United States is far from a mere loophole. It is a fundamental constitutional principle, deeply rooted in English common law, but profoundly shaped and enshrined in the 14th Amendment as a direct response to the horrors of slavery and the need to define a truly inclusive American citizenship after the Civil War. The Supreme Court's ruling in Wong Kim Ark further solidified its broad application. Its history is a testament to America's continuous struggle with equality, belonging, and the foundational definition of who belongs to we the people. This principle, forged in freedom and conflict, remains a defining characteristic of American identity, even as it continues to be debated.